like I said, I would still like to see him fight Tito, even though they've fought millions of times. At least it seems that way, anyways. But no, they fought twice. Chuck Liddell's demolished them twice. But just the fact that they, kind of put the fire back up under his in the show. You know what I mean? I want to see that fight for free on Spike. Make it happen, Dana White. But the worst thing that could possibly happen to Chuck in this fight, it could be two good things. Look, he beat Tito twice already. Third time, that doesn't do shit for him. But at least he gets to go out on top with beating a guy. But he's not going to get much honor from it because like I say, he beat the guy already. He wants to beat somebody new and fresh. And the second worst thing that can happen to him is Tito can get a KO on Chuck Liddell. He could fuck Chuck Liddell up, just knock his ass the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? That would be really horrible for Chuck Liddell's mental. Like, seriously, he hates this guy. They hate each other. Let's face it, man. Tito was just looking for an easy win anyways. He don't give a damn how many guys beat Chuck. Chuck has beat his ass so many times in a humiliating way. He just wants to get a win on Chuck. He wants to add him to his win column. He just wants to be able to say, I KO'd Chuck Liddell. And he knows he can do it at this point because Chuck Liddell, like I said, you could throw a piece of cotton in his face and he's out of there. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I'm not so sure Tito could even still beat him. Tito just sucks so bad as a fighter to me. And I don't even hate Tito like a lot of other people hate Tito. I just don't give a damn. I don't put that much, thought into it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this guy is just not a great fighter. He never has been. The only guy that he really beat the fuck out of was Ken Shamrock, and Ken Shamrock sucks. Period. I mean, again, I hate to keep saying everybody sucks, but the people that I am talking about right now at this point in time, they sort of suck in their own way. But I still respect them for having the courage to get in the octagon and fight. You know what I mean? I mean, I would too, so I respect myself. But, I mean, let's just see. Tito, all he has is wrestling, if you ask me. His hands have improved like 1 inch over the course of the years. I don't see him beating Chuck Liddell in a stand-up. I don't see him being able to take Liddell down and controlling him. But the luckiest thing that could ever happen for him is he could land a lucky head kick and knock him out, or a punch and knock him out. That's really the big key of this right now. I would like to see him fight Tito, but in a sense, I wouldn't like to see him fight Tito just because I've seen him fight twice already. But on the flip side, I don't want Tito to, knock him out, because Tito's he just looking for an easy win, and I don't want to, he know Chuck Liddell ain't the same fighter he used to be. He know he could never possibly even beat Liddell if he was the same fighter he used to be. Not to say that Chuck Liddell was, to me, Chuck Liddell has never been a Shogun. He has never been a Fedor. He's never been an Anderson Silva. He's never been, who else is great right now? He's never been Cain Velasquez. He's never been that high to me. He's just a really exciting style, and he whooped a lot of people's ass who didn't know how to fight, if you ask me. Yeah, of course, if they go into the street and get into a fight with a regular guy, they can whoop his ass. I mean, like, elite level. Bob Lou is not on a great level. I've said that before. He's okay. His ground game is very good. Is not bad at all. Tito is not good at all to me. Randy Couture is overrated. Again, UFC overrates. They listen. They hype their fighters up to be very good. They try to sell them. They want to sell they want to sell the fights. They want to sell their fighters on you. They make them with a great look, like Rich Franklin, school teacher, smart, great spokesman. I mean, great dude for the sport, ambassador. Because listen, if you want to put this guy on a talk show, if you want to put him anywhere to represent the sport, look, Rich Franklin looks good. He looks good to have. It looks good to have a guy like that in your sport. That used to be a school teacher. Well groomed. Take care of himself, doesn't look barbaric, they want guys like that on the front stream. You know what I'm saying? Even though Chuck Liddell wasn't like that, Chuck Liddell still has that look that draws in a lot of people. Of course, they're gonna hype him up like he's invincible, like the dude can't be beat. But listen, all good things must come to an end one day. Chuck, it is over. I would like to see you get a rematch against Keith Jardine, or either I wanted to see him fight Forrest Griffin before this fight, before he lost last night. But honestly, I don't think he could beat Forrest Griffin at this point. Not after what I saw. I mean, he may be able to beat him for a little bit, just like he was beating Wrench. But Forrest Griffin will land one of those soft-ass punches and knock him out. So, at this point, I just want to see him either rematch Keith Jardine, or either Tito. And I'm not so sure he could beat either of those guys. But I would like to see him beat those guys before he goes out. Hell, possibly even fight Stephan Bonnar. But Stephan Bonnar, if you ask me, Stephan Bonnar hits harder than Rich Franklin. You know, I don't think he's a better fighter than Rich Franklin. I think they're on the same level. You know what I'm saying? But hell, let Rich Franklin fight Stephan Bonnar. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a good fight. But like I say, I'm yapping right now. I'm just fucked up in the mind. I'm fucked up in the head because I hate one of my favorite fighters had to lose. Again, to be my favorite fighter, you don't have to be the absolute best in the world. You just have to have that thing, that it thing about you. And Chuck Liddell most definitely has that thing. You know what I'm saying? That it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Where he's gonna go out there and fight and put it all on the line. And again, he's a great guy. How could you not like him? You know, he's a very cool guy, man. Big ups to Rich Franklin for getting the win, man. I don't want to downplay your win at all, man. Congratulations to you. You know, Rich Franklin has I have always liked Rich Franklin. He has always been one of my favorite fighters. Got the utmost respect for him. It's just in this case he was going up against one of my favorite in the sport. You know, just like I don't want to see Anderson Silva lose. Just like I don't want to see Fedor lose. Just like I don't want to see Shogun lose. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, man. I even like Alistair Overeem now, you know. Chuck Liddell could never beat Alistair Overeem the way Overeem is now. Not a fucking chance. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? He beat Overeem when Overeem was a stick pin skinny guy. Like I say, no matter how many muscles Overeem has, his jaw, look, yeah, you can give your jaw therapy and give it time to kind of get back, you know, because I do believe if you get knocked out one time, then you fight again 2 weeks later, you're going to get knocked out again because your jaw is not rested up. Let's say give it about a year or maybe 6 months to a year, rested jaw up. I think your jaw can redeem itself, but in Chuck's case, Chuck's got a hole in his brain or something, man, you know what I'm saying? Because this guy cannot recover for shit. I mean, Vanderlei, his chin is gone too, but at least, you know, he could take a shot from Michael Bisping, you know, and still be standing, you know what I'm saying? But I'm out of here. Fuck it, guys. If you missed it, I really think you ought to check these fights out, man. They're pretty good, decent night of fights. Cro Cop looked good, even though a lot of people think he didn't. I think he did look good. He went up against a tough, hungry guy. Pat Barry is very powerful. He's not well-rounded. He's a great kickboxer. If you ask me, he hits harder than Cro Cop. You know what I'm saying? But he gassed. Cro Cop took advantage of the situation, and he beat Pat Barry's ass in the last round. You know what I'm saying? You can't take anything away from Cro Cop. You can't say he's not back. Look, to me, Cro Cop never left. It's just the heavyweight division. These guys are so big and so powerful. When Cro Cop gets his ass whooped, they say, oh, he's not the same anymore. Yeah, he may not be exactly the same, but at the same time, he's not completely like a different fighter. Like, he's not nowhere near the level he used to be in pride. Look, man, listen. I'm not saying UFC has the best fighters in the world, but let's face it, they do have some of the best fighters in the world, even though they do have a lot of hype around their fighters. But listen, we have the biggest heavyweights in the world, okay? In the UFC have heavyweights that are giants, and they are very powerful. It doesn't take but one shot to get knocked the fuck out, okay? You can't take anything away